chimney breast removal. I'm going to give you a very brief background. This house, these two brackets where that's the final result. We don't need to do much more than that. Now in this video we're going to show you how to correct a chimney breast removal. I'm going to give you a very brief background. This house I just purchased is going to be a 6 to 7 HMO bedroom, 7 bedroom house in Blackpool. It's not mortgageable, so I had to get a bridging loan to buy it. So it's not mortgageable because of, you see that crack over there? I'm going to show you later on. That is the problem. And in this video we're going to show you how to correct it and the history of it, okay? And how to correct it. You're going to see it A to Z. First of all, what we've got to do is just to give you an idea what's going on here. Now, when the surveyor came, looked at this crack there, there you see that crack, and said there's something wrong with this, and there was no crack over there. So the surveyor wanted a structural engineer to make sure it was okay. A structural engineer came and said no, it's not okay, it's dangerous. And because he said that, then the value of the house was 0. And then I had to get a bridging loan in order to buy it. So now I'm going to correct it. I'm going to show you how I can correct it. Okay, how I'm going to correct it. So when it comes to correct these sort of problems, you've got different types of solutions. Now, I've been studying the solution for at least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks, not full time, but you can put an RSJ in, and we're going to show you why we're not going to go for it. And this is supposedly the safest way, but it's completely impractical. And we're just not going to go for it. Technically it's possible, but it's so stupidly difficult, it's just a no-go. So we're not going to go for it, but I'm going to explain to you what was suggested and why it is a very stupid idea. And then we're going to go into the fitting of the gallows brackets and how they're fitted and the way they actually sustain the chimney. Now, going back to the chimney here, now what was suggested by the surveyor is that one engineer, the one that came to do the survey, is to put an RSJ. The problem with the RSJ is that you see that window over there. Then I just exposed the brickwork. You would need to place the RSJ above the window, and that's a very stupid idea. And unfortunately, I've got to say, engineers, although they've got qualifications, have got absolutely no clue what they're talking about because they're not in the real world. But basically, what is fundamentally wrong with it? Because you've got to sustain the weight of the outer brick. That's all you've got to do to make it safe. And in order to sustain that, then you would need to get the RSJ to be just above that window. Just above that window. And it's a very stupid idea. So what he suggested is get above that window and through that, what do you call it? That wall. Which is possible. Through that wall is possible. But I'll give you why that is also another stupid idea. The stupid idea is because also when you want to do it, if you wanted to do that, then I'm going to show you what, this is why I'm saying engineers are not practical people. You see this, so this is one chimney, which hasn't been removed. The chimney there has been removed. And then you see that bit of woodwork there. This is very likely a beam that goes through there to sustain that brickwork and that brickwork over there, because that's solid wall. So if you were to remove all that brickwork, likely the lack of weight on that could cause destabilization of that. It's not a given. That could actually cause it. So, and people really don't really think too hard. It is not a given that it's going to cause it, but that's a danger that you've got to put in mind. So this is a very, very stupid idea. So this is why it's not going to be done. So imagine what we would need to do, according to that one structural engineer, is just to remove the whole lot. Yes, going above that ceiling, and then place a beam that goes right through from that corner, right through above that window. Very stupid idea. Very, very stupid, but with all due respect and disrespect, that is what people who study a lot, I've got loads of qualifications, really fail to see. Then, speaking to a number of engineers and practical people, they said, why are you not putting gallows brackets? And this is what we're going to do in this video. So we've got two practical solutions. One is removing the chimney altogether, but I'm not going to show you why I'd rather not do it, because it's actually supporting the chimney structure, supporting something else. Maybe at the end of this video we're going to actually show you why we're not going to do it, and I think it's a really bad idea. And the other one is the easy gallows brackets. I've got 3 of them. I've got them really, really strong, the thickest of the thick. And we're going to show you how it's done. It's very, very simple. And it's so safe, it's stupid. And it's going to be there to sustain this chimney for hundreds of years if it's untouched. It's absolutely amazing. Stay tuned. Now, the first step is to, as you see, is just to take off all this white cover, what you call it, whatever you call it in English, to expose the bricks. Drop those bricks that are really too loose. Then I've got here strong boys, acros. I'm going to acro up whatever I can, and then I'm going to put the gallows brackets, and you're going to see how this is done. Okay. Yes, by the way, before I show you that, I got this acros here, and the strong boys. I've got another acro there, another strong boy there, because I had to put this lintel over there. So I hired it. So we're going to do the job all at once, because that didn't take that one didn't take long. So it's a Saturday. I think hopefully within 3 days, one man, which is me, gonna get all that done. And so we're gonna get the acros and strong boys back to the shop and just do the whole job within one hire and 1 week. So enjoy the show. Now I've taken off all the plaster, and I've exposed the whole structure, and this is what is left. Everything else is fallen off on its own accord. As you can see here, this is almost stable. Now the problem with this is that if you can see this piece of timber, it looks stable, but it's not very stable, because it used to be supported at this end by the chimney that was taken out. So what we're going to do, we're going to support that as well. So that's very important. So they've done a very poor job, because they had a bit of timber from there. As you can see, I've just taken it off. Like if I can focus again, I've just taken it off last night, and that was running across, and then it was attached to another bit of timber that was going through that hole, through there, and it was really poor, so it didn't withstand the test of time. So as you could see in the video, when I started taking it off, everything was detached, and as expected, the whole structure stands on its own because it's all interkeyed. That's the beauty of these type of buildings. This is why they're very good. But let's have a look at, give you an overview of what happened there. So you see that's gone detached because there's no there's a lot of weight. There's weight imbalance now because the outer brick is not sustained anymore. So at the moment, everything is supported by that brick. See that structure there, these bricks there? Everything is supported by that interkeyed, that keyed brick. And that similar thing is happening there. So look, in that brick. A lot of weight is on that brick at the moment. So this then I've had a look at the structure, how it is at the moment. See there's a crack there. That's because of the lack of support. Now what I've just made the decision to, I mean, I could do without using acros, but I've got the acros here, and I've got the acros and the strong boys, so I'm only going to set a few on just to make sure that while I work they're not going to fall on my head. That's really what I'm going to use them for. I wouldn't use it for anything else. And what I could do, I could work in two ways. One is just rebuild on the new structure I'm going to build with the gallows brackets, the outer layer, and then have those bricks supported again, and then try to pack in those bricks that I've moved the other way, and that should do the job, because at that point, once the structure is supported again, nothing should move anymore. This movement that you can see, this crack, this joining, is because there's no support. So as soon as we get the support, that should stop for good. So all we need to do is just get good support. Or what I can do once I start rebuilding, then I can take them off one by one, these bricks, and clean them, get it back in, and key them back in as well as possible. That's another way of doing it. But closer to the time when I get there, I'm just going to make that decision. So I can work in two ways, but I think the most important thing is I just get the support on the outer skin where it's missing, and that should stop any movement forever, for a few hundred years. That should be done. And obviously I want to get that supported, that timber supported as well, at that point where it used to be supported. Now, when I do a kind of project like this, I tend to live in the house. Now, I'll show you what I've done with the gallows brackets, which are already fixed, ready to go, and the platform. We're going to look at that. Now, first of all, there's 4 gallows brackets. They are the strongest specifications. They came with 3 holes only, then I made it 4, and they came with different bolts, but I've chosen to use big fat through bolts, which I'll show you in a second. But if you can see this through bolts, what I'm doing, I'm using the biggest through bolts at the top, which is where most of the strength is required, and then the smaller ones, or smaller one at the bottom, because there's not a lot of strength required there. In this case, I just gave up on the bottom one because I thought it wasn't worthwhile, and the top one has got 2 through bolts. One is really deep. We're going to look at the through bolts in a minute. This one has got 2 through bolts. Very likely it's just gripping onto the outer bricks, whereas this ones are gripping into the inner bricks, actually drilled into through the wall into the neighbour's wall a couple of times. Neighbour wasn't happy. Here I've got 4 rods in there. There's 4 through bolts in here. I tell you, it was a bit challenging to get it right for me. And then here again, I had 2 through bolts. Look how deep the first one is incredible, because we're going to show you a through bolt right here when I can find it. Yes, that's the through bolt in there. So that's the through bolt. To give you an idea of this, how thick is an M12, and it's really deep. Look how deep it is compared to the brick. So what you've seen there is actually this through bolt gripping into the second layer of the 2 brick wall. So it's really strong. It's not going to go anywhere. It's really strong. So this is what I've chosen. It wasn't specified, but I wanted to get the very best grip onto the wall. So normally you don't get 4 gallows brackets. It's just me going over the top. I wanted to make sure that once we get this job done, we're never going to go back to it. We're never going to show any movement. So we wanted to get 4 instead of the 2 that people normally use. I could have got away with 2, especially with this platform, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But given that I want to sleep tight, I want to make sure that this is never going to move and I can pass it on to my children, and they're never going to be bothered with this, even in 100 years from now. So basically this whole house, unless it's demolished, these gallows brackets are going to be there forever. Now everything is pointed, so they're good to go. We're going to show you the other challenges about getting the platform on. Now this platform, talking about this platform, is 1.6 meters long. So the height at the moment is 1.6 meters, and I've assembled it myself. Have bought these steels, which are not really full. I'll show you in a second. Hopefully I'm not going to, because it's really heavy. So it's thick, mild steel. And I bought these 4 steels here on their own, quite cheap, for I think £140, something of the sort. And the platform, I couldn't get a 1.6 meter platform, so I bought 2 what you call it, a laminate sheet of steel. Again, this steel is very thick, as you can see. It's quite thick. So what I had to do is just assemble it. I had 2 options: go into the company and get this made to suit, or buy the parts and do it myself. I prefer to do it. In this case, I prefer to buy the parts and do it myself, for a simple reason is that I've got loads of time in my hands, not a lot of cash, and therefore I prefer to do it myself. So what I've done is I bought the parts, bought a welder, learned how to weld, and I welded it myself within 4 hours once I had all the equipment right to weld. And now this thing is so heavy, I cannot put it there on my own. So I'm waiting for somebody to because I'm going to need at least another 2 people with myself to stick it up there. Alright, so this is so over the top. is unreal. So once it is up there, it's never going to bend, it's never going to move, it's never going to go anywhere. And then remember, in theory, I could have got away with 2 couples brackets, but because I'm always over the top, I've just added an extra 2. So this thing ain't gonna move, ain't gonna go anywhere, okay? So I wanted to have a very, very solid base to have this chimney to sit on. Now, at the moment, what I'm going to be doing, what you're going to see now is just the welding of the platform, because we've got to get the platform not to move. So the platform is in place at the moment, in the right location, around in the right place. And I'm going to start welding it, okay? So, and I've got, what do you call it, the fire extinguishers, just in case. So I'm going to keep an eye on what's going on. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to weld these 2 brackets where the platform is sitting on. It's not sitting on these 2, so what I'll do is I'll weld these ones first, these 2, so it can be firm in place, and then I'm going to start packing with the packers there, the steel packers, one by one. So I'm going to pack one, weld it, and follow up to the end. So because all the weight have got to be distributed between the 4, and it's going to be there, never to move. So what I'm going to be using, you see it right there, is a direct current welder. Very, very cheap, only £70, and I've just already connected it to the platform. It's connected over there. As you can see, there's the electrode over there, and then I'm going to start the welding. Also, I've got this helmet here. This helmet is £30. Allows you to see when you're not welding, and then adjust these, protects your eyes when you're welding, so is darkening automatically when you're welding. So otherwise, it's going to be extremely difficult to do this job. So that you can see what I've done here. What I've done here is just filled. Look, if I can show you, this camera's not that good. So what I've done here, I've on this platform I put a bed of bricks all the way to the back. Okay, so that is so that the bricks are not going to move inside, so towards the inner part of the chimney. Because once I lay bricks on bricks, they're not going to move anymore, because they could move over time on the steel platform. Now the job is finished, okay? Everything is bricked up, really good. Now this is a bit optional. What I'm doing, I'm putting these steels as a containment measure. So again, this is optional. It's only to make sure that over time, if there's any movement, the bricks will not slide that way or outwards. They cannot be sliding inwards because I've made a complete platform completely full of bricks. But just in case there's any movement over tens of years, these steels will avoid the bricks from slipping off the platform. So I'm going to go and weld them. That's the final result. We don't need to do much more than that. So you can see there, use of steel. It's just holding any possible movement over the tens of years. If any major movement with the wall or something is going to happen outwards or sideways. But even if I didn't do it, it would have been more than fine anyway. It's just as a safety precaution. It's been very easy, just a bit of welding, and that's going to keep it in place. So that's the final job, and then what we've got to do is just cover it up later on with dot and dab, and we'll find a solution to that. So that's the best structural solution that we've got to repair this very poor job of the removal of that old chimney breast. So thank you for watching this video, and if you'd like to invest with us in this sort of projects, we'll give you 6 to 10% return on your money. So if you have cash and you want it to work hard for you, invest with us. Invest with Areton and Andreas Investments Limited in this type of projects. So we'll give you between 6 and 10% on your money. For more information, get in touch with us.